considered the marketing savior for the sport.
So many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak.
Stay in the league than the rookie sensation. Several WNBA players feel entitled to greater earnings and are furious by Caitlin Clark's hefty offer from European team.
It's physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that she cannot be babied as a rookie.
Since Caitlin Clark is the highest paid player in the world and will finally receive the attention she deserves in a league that acknowledges her talent free from players wishing to see her fail, her going overseas might be terrible for the WNBA.
Reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people get.
Why would Caitlin Clark continue playing in a league where the news drives even her teammates to turn against her? Nalissa Smith and DJ Carrington were observed chuckling at the widely shared eye poke incident, which brought attention to Clark's lack of support.
Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. You poked me in the eye. You did. Did you do it on purpose? I did not poke you in the eye.
Nalissa Smith, a teammate of Caitlin Clark, was observed beaming when DJ Carrington copied her, asking, "Did you do it on purpose?" Surprisingly, Smith didn't upset Clark, isolating her even among her own teammates amid this widely publicized derision.
And they're like, well, hold on, man. This woman is booed up with the girl that poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. They're making videos making fun of Caitlin Clark in the eye poke. What is the Indiana Fever?
Instead of backing Caitlin, her team has displayed highlights from Melissa Smith's season, with no indication that they will support Clark now that the opposition players definitely don't want Caitlin in the WNBA, and even her teammates are making fun of her. She has even more cause to leave. The WNBA is pleading for her back once they know what they've lost.
I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one.
Why does this move provoke so strong reactions within the league? Caitlin Clark's signing with a European squad isn't simply another relocation. It's a clear illustration of the opportunities and distinctions between some WNBA players and others getting attention elsewhere. Despite years of superiority, Caitlin, a newcomer to the professional basketball world, has already earned international offers that even well-established talents like A'ja Wilson haven't received. Wilson and other elite WNBA players haven't received the same hefty deals. Longtime players who feel forgotten by the league and the national team are angered by the gap that Clark's ability to call attention to.
And it wasn't to the degree of Caitlin Clark being on that basketball court, people watching her, but nevertheless, rising tide.
For Wilson A'ja, in addition to the fact that Caitlin secured a contract to play in Europe, the underlying message that this choice sends to the rest of the WNBA is what is driving the displeasure around her relocation. A'ja has always held the belief that earning the league MVP title should entail more than merely collecting a trophy. In her opinion, MVP status needs to involve the best prospects in terms of contracts and recognition. However, she is currently observing Caitlin Clark, who hasn't played as long or earned as much in the professional world, receiving offers that someone of AIA's caliber ought to be receiving.
A lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now? Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got
we
to
don't
slight
have
delay,
any of the women, Chene.
Remember,
They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation.
When Caitlin was still playing in college, her games were filled with spectators wanting to watch her play. But A'ja, despite winning MVP, wasn't generating the same fans at the WNBA level. This underscores the stark fact that competence and accomplishment don't always equal financial reward, which makes A'ja's frustration even more profound.
12 million people are watching ESPN for a game. If that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people.
DJ Carrington's dislike for Caitlin Clark is widely known. The two players had a past together, and Carrington's resentment reached a pinnacle after the notorious eye poke incident in which Caitlin suffered a black eye rather than expressing sorry for her behavior. Carrington chose to make fun of Caitlyn, which raised their level of hostility. This public act of disdain wasn't an isolated occurrence. Rather, it was a sign of a longer-standing antipathy that Carrington held for Caitlyn.
To know her name, Nylisa Smith, if she played on any of the other 11 teams. She was the second overall pick 2 or 3 years ago in the WNBA draft. Decent player, but no one would know. She played with Caitlin Clark. People know her name. She has no gratitude. She has no respect. She can't tell her girlfriend, hey.
Carrington's anger presumably derives from the fact that Caitlyn has taken on a leadership role in women's basketball that she hasn't been able to. Despite the fact that Carrington is a great player in her own right, this has led to a sense of bitterness that was only made worse by the yuck incident for Carrington. It seems like a personal blow that Caitlyn's swift journey to stardom is being dismissed in favor of someone who hasn't put in as much effort.
The most watched WNBA games in over 2 decades. What does that tell you? That tells you that before Caitlin Clark came along, it wasn't nearly as popular. It doesn't mean it wasn't growing in popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. But 3 years ago, the WNBA was...
What's most disturbing about Carrington's conduct is that rather than making an apology for the injury, she seems to enjoy Caitlyn's struggles. Carrington made light of it by making fun of Caitlyn in a way that seemed to imply that she relished watching her suffer. This style of behavior transcends professional rivalry and becomes personal. Carrington has been disrespectful and resentful of Caitlyn, and Caitlyn has had to struggle with this throughout her WNBA career. Following the EY Puke incident, Nylisa Thomas has joined with DJ Carrington in their mutual enmity for Caitlin Clark. Nylisa's complete lack of concern for her fellow athlete was evident when she was photographed giggling with her partner about Caitlin's injury. The fact that Nylisa and Carrington take delight in Caitlin's injury signals a more serious problem in the league. This type of behavior is alarming, especially coming from someone who ought to be a professional athlete.
Above board, it doesn't matter what Nylisa Smith does. She can go out and mock our meal ticket, the best player in the league, the person is making...
Caitlyn is really concerned about this degree of antagonism because she believes that the WNBA should be a place where players promote one another and collaborate to enhance the league. But instead, she is dealing with blatant antagonism from her peers, which generates a poisonous environment where participants actively seek to undermine one another in addition to competing against one another. Caitlyn's injury on the court wasn't only an accident. It started to signify the antagonism she faces from players such as Carrington and Melissa.
It's been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is... And in that way, I do think Caitlyn's being used as a pawn. Mm-hmm. Caitlyn didn't bring racism to the WNBA.
In professional sports, a team is designed to reflect a safe and supportive atmosphere where players are united in a common objective, winning games, and achieving success together. It's about trust, teamwork, and unity, especially during trying circumstances. However, Caitlin Clark's reality with the Indiana Fever has been anything but supportive. Rather than banding together to support her, who was obviously the victim of a physical injury, the Indiana Fever seemed indifferent, neglecting to publicly defend her or even acknowledge the event in a meaningful way for her.
All of those who think it's funny, could you imagine if it was the roles were reversed? If Caitlin Clark, 2 white girls, made a video mocking it, what the reaction would be? I mean, let's just be honest. I don't want to go, what about Favre? But what about Favre?
This must have looked like a betrayal to Caitlyn because not only were her efforts neglected, but her own squad also appeared more concerned on recognizing other successes than on defending one of its greatest players. This condition calls into question the team's internal dynamics, since it signals a deeper problem if a player like Caitlyn, who has contributed considerably to the WNBA, isn't receiving support from her teammates and coaching staff. The lack of help Caitlyn experienced isn't just about one incident. It speaks to a bigger problem inside the team culture. For any athlete, especially one of Caitlyn's caliber, feeling alone or unprotected by your own squad can be emotionally exhausting. In this scenario, Caitlyn's teammates and staff have decided to remain silent or focus on other players, giving a clear message that her personal well-being and contributions to the team don't hold as much weight as they should.
I gotta say, she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's not. That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
It's
am I
excuses,
right?
Molly. It's
Major
excuses.
injuries.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen,
You
excuse
gotta
me,
go.
it's her against Caitlin Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there. Don't want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you,
If
if
Paige
Georgetown
Beckers-
is back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckerson basically missed 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlin Clark.
It can cause players to lose confidence and feel alienated, which impacts their performance and general comfort in the league. It also makes Caitlin wonder if the WBA and the Indiana Fever in particular are the proper places for her to pursue her career. After all, why would she stick around when her own squad doesn't appear to have her back? Caitlin's decision to think about playing in Europe is further impacted by this incident. She might find herself in a more encouraging and respectful team attitude in addition to perhaps generating more money and meeting less hatred from other players. The Indiana Fever's lack of support for Caitlin may be the last straw she needs to decide to relocate abroad because European leagues are recognized for providing their finest players with the tools and encouragement they require to flourish.
This noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, said, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark.
No, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If the WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why?
It has always been challenging for the WNBA to compete with other major sports leagues. So, losing someone who may attract new fans like Caitlin could be terrible. The issue is that if one of the league's greatest talents can go for greater possibilities overseas, what's stopping other outstanding players from following suit? Caitlin's shift to Europe might create a precedent. The WNBA may find itself in a position where its top players are playing abroad, which would leave the league with less popular players to lure in fans. Caitlin's departure might be the critical point that throws the WNBA into a downward spiral, negating years of hard work and growth. It's not just about Caitlin, though. If you liked it, leave a like. Additionally, subscribe to see more videos.